Hey guys, so today we're going to be doing two plaques and a keychain. We're going to go ahead and start with the sublimation plaque first. The materials that we're going to need to accomplish the sublimation plaques are a blank plaque, the stand, and I'm going to add a wood scan to pay cutout. This is optional, and all of these were purchased through Etsy. We're going to need our butcher paper, sublimation paper, our heat tape. By the way, which is my best friend with sublimation because it does cut your tape for you. I got this off of Amazon, and everything that you'll need I will drop in the description below. We can go ahead and start designing our plaque. I'm in silhouette, and I grabbed a hexagon off of Google and I measured it to fit my plaque, which is 8.5 by 7.5. I also grabbed a gold background because it's the color that I'm going to be using. I use this photo in particular because of the placement of my hand. I really do think that is perfect. I did add my Cash App and PayPal QR code and made them equal size. You can use whatever size that you like. As long as it fits inside of the hexagon, you'll be fine. I'm going to add a black rectangle here to hide where my feet once were. I did use remove BG and it cut out my feet, so I'm going to add a black rectangle to hide where they're not showing, and I added my website on top to make it look like it was done on purpose. What I'm going to do now is center everything. I'm going to group them, and I'm going to remove the background and the hexagon as I only use those for a visual, and then I'm going to mirror imprint. So now I'm going to remove my protective film and place my sublimation print underneath it as I want it to be backwards. I should mention that I do sell this particular plaque for $55, and don't worry about all of my fingerprints on here. I will clean this up later. I am going to fold my paper over as I don't want the tape to touch a lot of the plaque because it can leave these ugly tape marks and you just don't want that. But once my tape is secure, I send it over to my heat press, but this is how I do it. My heat settings are 180 degrees Celsius for 180 seconds with heavy pressure. I did put butcher paper underneath and on top of the plaque to protect my heat press. Put on your heat resistant gloves and just stand by because once it beeps, it's very imperative that you move really fast because the plaque can warp if you move too slow. These are really hot. I am going to go ahead and take off the sublimation paper. Don't worry about the residue that's left on there. It will come off. By the way, you need something really heavy to put on your plaque on a flat surface just so that it can stay straight. I use my 15-pound box of doormats. I let it sit and cool down for approximately 10 minutes. Now that it's cooled off, it should be hard. It should not be flimsy at all. We're just going to go ahead and rinse with cool water and wipe down with a napkin just to clean off the residue that came from the sublimation paper. Now that we have that dry, we're going to go ahead and get ready to spray paint the back of the plaque. Don't worry about this part. It's not going to show once you spray paint it. We do want you to only take off one side of the protective film on your stand, as we do not want spray paint to get on the other side. I am going to spray paint the plaque in the stand gold, and I'm going to paint the words matte black. So for my words, I did use Acrylic matte black. I went over it a couple times, and I'm going to put it in my wand V to let this dry for about 5 minutes. My wand V works wonders. For the plaque, I did use a glitter gold for the first round, and then I went back after it dried for my second layer, and I painted it a metallic gold just so my colors can pop. Now we're going to take our words and we're going to glue them to our plaque. I will show you how to do that shortly. Per request, a plaque that is not sublimation. The materials we're going to need to accomplish the look that we're going for is an acrylic piece and a stand. I got these both from Amazon. I also use Oracle 651. This can be found at Michael's. Our wood cutout that came from Etsy, which I spray painted black in the first video. We have 3 social media icons, which also came from the first plaque that we completed. These came from Etsy as well. You are going to need a weeding tool. You're going to need scissors and a squeegee or a squeegee, because I use scissors, and some glue. I got Fix-All. I got this from my local Dollar Tree, and some transfer tape. Now, this part is very, very simple. My acrylic plaque is 4x6, so I'm making my words 4x1, and then I'm going to center them, group them, and send them to my silhouette. Then I'm going to proceed to weed them out. Once weeded, I am now going to place my social media icons and my words where I want them at on the plaque. Remember to please leave room for your cutout if you're going to use one at the top. Now I am prepping my transfer tape for my words. I do cut on the squares just to make sure that everything is even and I don't second guess. So I'm going to place that on, and I'm going to take my scissors. You can use a squeegee. I like scissors. Okay, once my words are on, I'm going to just place glue on my icons and then put them back on the plaque. Please be careful not to use so much glue, otherwise it'll leave a residue if you use a lot of pressure like I did. It's okay, I'm just going to take a napkin and clean up what I can. And whatever is left on it, it will dry clear, or I'll get it once I clean the plaque once it's finished. Now we're going to go ahead and place our cutout at the top. I'm only putting glue at the bottom because it's going to be hanging off at the top. Normally I do paint both sides, but since it's for me and just this video, this is fine. We will let this dry for about an hour. We will place something on top. And in my case, it was my iPad, so it's about to do some eye work. Now for our very last part, this is a Sublimation QR code keychain. Keychains can be found at Amazon. The link will be in the description as well. I went ahead and I added my logo and my QR code from my website, and I sized them up for the keychain. Please make sure that you remove the protective film from both sides. I'm going to go ahead and cut these out, and I'm going to put them on one at a time because you cannot sublimate them both at once. Now that I have the first part cut out, I'm going to just place it on the keychain, turn it around, and just use my eyesight to see where the middle is. And then I'm going to use 2 pieces of heat tape, and I'm going to take it to my heat press. So my heat press settings is 202 degrees Celsius, which is 400 degrees Fahrenheit for 52 seconds with heavy pressure. I do have butcher paper on top and underneath just to protect my heat press. So we're going to go ahead and press this again for 52 seconds with firm pressure. Getting this off was really tedious because I should have had on some gloves, but I am hard-headed, and when I am zoned out, I turn into a thug. But I did learn a lesson today. Not only does thugs need love, but they need gloves. Because, baby, when I say this was hot, it was really hot. Anyway, so I'm going to do the same thing with my QR code. I'm going to turn it around, put my QR code, size it up, put 2 pieces of tape on, and I'm going to press with the same time, temp, and pressure. Y'all, this was so hot. You can tell, like, look at my fingers, like, I couldn't barely even touch it. Like, it was just stupid. Like, I could have just grabbed my gloves. But anyway, we put our key ring on, and that is it, baby. We are done. We're gonna put this in, and yes, I am struggling, but you get the point. That shit was hot. And here is our finished product. Look at those. I love, I love, I love. Yes. 3 snaps.